The Speaker assured us that tomorrow we would have a full budget. We'd take him at his word, as I have said in the past. Quite frankly, I'm still very frustrated at this process, that we keep coming to the table and nothing actually happens. But I believe that we are doing the best for the state of Connecticut when we are all sitting there and trying to find things we agree on and trying to find a way to move the state of Connecticut forward in as open a way as possible. I still have the same position that I had before. Tax increases are not something that we are interested in at this point in time. As Senator Fasano mentioned, we've had very serious conversations between our caucuses and with the Democrat caucuses about the structural changes, and if we're not going to focus on those and really making a change to how the state of Connecticut works and how it's structured, the rest of the conversation is moot, in my opinion.
Who of you four here, the leaders, or six, however many you got, does envision a bipartisan vote? You're all standing here together. Then you tell us that the sales tax is here, then you're not so sure if there's any Republican votes for the sales tax, so I don't completely get it.
Well, that's the reason we stay in the torturous room and have these meetings. I mean, I'll be honest, it's a torturous process. Doesn't mean it's not positive, but I think it's necessary to do that until you get to the point where you realize that it's a breaking point, right? That we cannot support this and you must support that. We're not there yet because we are putting out all our proposals and all our ideas. Senator Fasano and I have put together budget after budget with no tax increases. We feel strongly of that. The Speaker and the Senate President are open to those conversations and want to know what that pathway is to get there, and that's why we're still having those conversations.
As the Republican leaders, is it problematic, you think, for your caucuses if you build a budget based on the concessions deal? Because even though it was ratified, your caucuses opposed it, and if you produce a budget built on that, it could be seen as sort of accepting or even approving it.
As you know, we feel very, very strongly about structural changes for the state of Connecticut, and that was clearly the biggest one. That has been taken off the table at this point. I believe that has put the state of Connecticut and every citizen in a very bad position, but the reality is that's what we have to deal with now. So we have to build a budget around what we're dealing with realistically, not what we wished or hoped would have happened.
When you hear the two Democratic leaders say that they'd like to get a budget done by the second or first week of September, and they want to do a bipartisan budget, but, you know, maybe they won't, does that put pressure on you guys to I don't know, somehow compromise with them or not?
Listen, I mean, from my perspective, I'll speak for myself. We're in this room whether we think the chances are great or slim that we will come to a bipartisan budget. But I will say that no matter how much I think a process works the best when everybody's working together, just because you don't come to the same final solution doesn't mean you didn't work together to do your best to try and get there. I will not compromise what I believe will change the state of Connecticut for the better, just so I can say we have come to a bipartisan solution.